Yeah, Coach, just curious, spring volleyball season, playing for a national championship. How strange is this for you?
It's strange because it's unique for the women for sure. It's, we've been doing just limited training because of our hours, because we used up a lot in the fall. First practice Monday. So excited to get after it. The girls do look good in what we've seen. And I know it's exciting. I coached men for almost a decade, and it's about the same time frame. Championship was always the end of April, so it kind of feels like that. So I felt very rusty in the fall, and I feel kind of rejuvenated here this spring. So,
and going from coaching to play in a spring championship, do you go about it any differently than maybe you would in the fall?
I think the message in the fall was, hey, we're going to win a championship in April. So our hope is that we're playing our very, very best volleyball at that time. Now, we're trying to be good every single day in the gym. Yeah, it's just there's so many distractions, so many challenges when we train, when we can practice, who's cleared, who's not cleared. So we just got to keep it focused. Coaches, we say it all the time, but it's a day at a time. And my hope is that we hit April really healthy, and growth is a focus that we've grown personally and definitely very specifically. Each girl's working on parts of their game that we're trying to hit high growth areas in.
Thanks, Coach.
Let's go over to Bryce Cherry.
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Better than I deserve. Glad to be here.
So you talked about it, I think, the last time we got together, but how challenging was it to put together a spring schedule? I mean, it's obviously something new.
Yeah, it's we're fortunate. We're in an area where we're surrounded by a lot of good teams. I think the hope is we always want to challenge ourselves. Last year, 2019, we're on the road at Nebraska. We play UCLA and Creighton and Wisconsin and Marquette and, bring Hawaii and stuff here. So it was just different. Unfortunately, we did not win the AQ. We fell short losing Texas in 5. So it's there's no reward without the risk. We probably could have scheduled nobody, had no matches, and get a free ticket into the tournament. But we're still playing some high level teams that we need to win and hopefully put us in a good position seeding wise. They did just announce that they're going to bubble everyone for the tournament. So I think normally to be one of those top 4 seeds, so you're hosting first, second, third, and fourth rounds is just it's a difference maker in my opinion, and helps so much. So that's kind of off the table. So again, now the goal is to get there in April and be strong and be healthy. And we really got to challenge ourselves in the gym as much as the hopes that the opponents will challenge us.
Let's go over to Harper.
And then, Coach, you were talking about how the goal is to win a championship in April, obviously. What's been the toughest part of kind of ramping back up, coming off the break, and heading into the spring season with that in mind?
The hard part's been getting cleared. I think some showed up, asymptomatic, but we're not cleared. I think making sure that we're mid-season form, like normally, we ease into it and spend a lot of time on individual skills. We have thus far spent most of the time individual skills. We'll start doing, the full team practice on Monday. It's been hard because we're introducing. We got 6 brand new players that have joined us in January. Only one of them is allowed to compete in the spring, but I do think Presley Anderson will have an impact one way or another for us. So trying to get, Presley and the new ones adapted so they're helping and enhancing the practice has been, a welcome challenge. Nothing good is easy. So, kind of going 100 miles an hour with our returners while, throwing the freshmen and the newbies in the fire, making sure we're not breaking them or beating them down too much, but helping them get acclimated at the same time. Doing all this simultaneously has been difficult, but I like how we've done it so far.
Next, let's go to Katie Smith.
Coach, you talked about it a little bit on that last one, just how many new players you guys have in the gym. What's maybe a few of your returners or a few of your upperclassmen who have really stepped up to lead those girls and try to get them more acclimated with the program?
I've been really pleased actually with Emily Van Slate. I think she's an upperclassman and is only kind of came on the scene, a little bit later for us at the end of the year last year. She looks prepared and ready. That was, all primary passers have to be prepared and ready once we start playing. So I was really, really pleased with that. I'm just, had the girls write down each individually specific dreams, goals, and areas they want to see growth in. And love how Yasi has just grown in maturity, her desire to play for the Lord, to see the team play for the Lord, that balance. And she's got the competitive drive, nothing's diminished there. But she's been on the forefront of making sure those other girls are acclimated. And then, Presley, we've just all setters have looked good too. So that's passing's good, setting's good. So the rest of the stuff is easy. If we show up with bad passing and setting, I'd be extremely nervous.
Back over to Bryce Cherry.
Ryan, you mentioned the bubble. Obviously there are challenges to that, but are you happy that the NCAA has figured out a way to make this season happen, even as weird as it has been?
Most certainly. It was frustrating because it feels like it took forever. We really weren't sure what was happening in the fall, and we just play. And then they said they were going to have one. I had to build a schedule before knowing the format. So, we didn't. Is it based off RPI that affects seeding? Is it based off number of wins? Are they going eye test? And, as a coach, that's something you want to know because it affects kind of how you schedule. If it's RPI, let's get an RPI schedule that puts us in good place. If they just care about wins, maybe play teams where you can win 3-0, 25-10 every night. But, and even that is a little bit uncertain. But, no, again, it's something to look forward to. We're really not doing – everything's local. We're not doing any overnight trips this spring. So, to me, that's when your chemistry and culture is made. That's when the girls kind of bond. So, anticipating a 12-day tournament, if, we could win, from start to finish, does to me seem like kind of an exciting way to end. In our best seasons, our girls have not wanted it to end. I think not just because they love volleyball, but they just enjoy being together, So to me, it's something to look forward to. My old NAIA days, that's kind of how the national tournament was, all at one site. And so, it's kind of it. Like I brought up the men too, is just bringing up these old feelings of positive experiences. So I'll reflect and dwell on those.
Well, and just to follow up on that too, you mentioned it, but obviously you guys still have big goals out there. You still feel like this is a team that, if you do kind of get back into the rhythm and stuff that, can do some damage in that tournament.
Oh, 100%, most certainly. It's, hey, we could win somebody could win two national championships in the same calendar year. When would that happen? That's, I don't know if they'll call this the 2020 season or not, but that would be a unique blip, April and then go a few months later in December again. So either way, it's also preparing us for that. But, you know, getting to the tournament has always been hard. There's no guarantees. And then once you get there, anything can happen. It takes great skill. It takes being healthy and then maybe a little fortune along the way. And so I believe we have great skill. I believe our girls know how to compete. And, you know, can we arrive there healthy and you know, have some good fortune along the way? We'll find out. We'll see.